What do you think? Like, how much money somebody who you know has made because of ESOPs?
They have made crores.
And they were able to buy a flat in Mumbai. So
You're earning more than your husband. How has the dynamics in your marriage changed post that?
yeah, I mean, it's all about how you support each other.
If from the start it's like my money, your money, my money, your money.
So kabhi work hi nahi hoga then. How is it that you're managing your own finance?
I'm embarrassed.
It's okay. I can also relate.
I didn't even know about mutual funds in 2012.
I know. Any advice for today's women who might be watching this?
The first advice would be that
So tell me, what is it that you'll do currently at your current organization? And what is the salary that you'll are drawing today?
My name is Jyoti Jain. I work with VMware currently as a senior member of technical staff. And a senior member of technical staff would make around anywhere in the range of 45 to 85 generally.
That's what you're making.
Yeah,
Between
in the
40
range of 45 to 85, yes. That's what I'm making. So that is what a typical salary of a senior member of technical staff would look like.
Okay, so
And
45.
it can be even more if you have negotiated better, but generally it's in that range.
45 to 80 lakh, 85 lakh per annum. Great. What about you?
hi, I'm Mitsu Buddhadev. I'm a CA. I work with Grow India as internal audit and controls head. A person in my designation would normally earn between 45 to 60 lakhs.
So I want to ask you all something really interesting, and I don't know if people have asked you all this before, but let me do this. So, do you earn more than your husband? Now that I know your salary range, so I need to ask.
Yeah, okay. So currently it's almost equal, but yeah, there was a point of time in 2017 where I did earn more than my husband because he left his job and started his own venture, his own business. So yeah, that was a point of time from 2017 to about 2022 where he was building his business,
Okay.
and that is why I was
And you were
earning.
bringing the income home.
So I was like supporting him that, you have this time, do whatever is required, and I'm there to take care of
And
the
now you all are
finances.
almost at the same range. What about you?
So my husband is a dentist. He's a doctor. So with doctors, it is great. They can ramp up anytime, ramp down anytime they want to. So we have a 5-year-old, and we need someone to, take care of him and everything. Somebody has to give up something at some point of time to take care of family. And I think my husband has supported me a lot in that case. So it's not, objective amount that if I make more or he makes less. We are a team. We have always been clear with that.
I think when it comes to marriage, right, both love and arranged. Like if it's love marriage, the parents, the first question they'll ask is, what's the boy doing? How much is he earning? And even in arranged, what is the guy doing? What's his salary? This is always there. And usually the girl's parents would want the daughter to marry somebody who's preferably earning more so that he can be the provider and the caretaker, and obviously the daughter can be the nurturer. That's how in society, that's how the roles are defined. So I wanted to know, in your case, now that you're almost on the same range and you're earning more than your husband, how has the dynamics in your marriage changed post that?
I think marriage is not related to anything about money. I mean, it's all about how you support each other, how you care for each other, what you are willing to do in the marriage to make it work. I think that is what matters the more, your chemistry and all of that. I don't think it's anything related to money.
I agree with it. I agree with it because for me, working is not only about earning. It's more about, since I was a child, I've always been told you are a girl and he's a guy. Girls are not supposed to do this, guys are supposed to do this. And at work is the only place where I feel that sense of equality. Nobody's telling me that, okay, he's a guy or you are a girl. Nobody tells me that. I can do whatever a guy is doing. So it is kind of a safe space for me, and my husband knows that even if she earns less, she has to work. She cannot quit that work. So if from the start it's like my money, your money, my money, your money.
So kabhi work hi nahi hoga then. Yeah.
So we have always been like a team from the start. He takes care of the household expenses. I'll take care of the bigger expenses.
Even my mom has told this, like the minute beginning may only, if y'all are going to do my money, your money, then that is never going to work. Mitsu, you said you are an internal.
Internal audit and controls head.
Okay, can you explain to us what exactly do you do? Because I'm not very aware of this field. So if you can tell me what is it that you do?
Yeah, sure. So, as you must be aware that every company is guided by the Companies Act. Plus, Grow being in a regulated space is guided by many different regulations. We are guided by SEBI, by the exchange, etc. So we have to perform internal audits. So we are into 5 businesses currently: NBFC, broking, UPI. We just got the payment aggregator license; it was in the news, and we also have AMC. So I head the internal audit for all of these 5 businesses. I have a team working with me.
So for somebody in your position right now, earning 45 to 60 lakhs, so how do you get to that position? Because in your early 30s, becoming a head and then earning that much, there should be a journey over there. So if you could walk us through that.
Sure. So I started my career with a Big Four consulting firm. Spent about 7 years there.
Okay, which company was this?
It was Deloitte.
And what was your salary that time?
I joined at 5.5 lakhs. So I moved to another firm,
Which firm?
KPMG. And that time there was a scope for negotiation. So I did get a good increment. And
What was it?
about 25%. And then my husband had his office in a co-working space where even Grow had their office. So just over a beer, he said to someone that my wife is looking for a job and all that. So he said, "Oh wow, there is a place in our company. Why don't you send the resume?" And that's how the interview happened, and it got through.
When did you
So
join Grow?
I joined Grow in 2022.
Okay. So from KPMG, now Grow. Yes. Okay. Jyoti, maybe I can ask you the same question as well. So you are in that high earning bracket. So how does somebody get there in your field?
So I started as an engineer, software engineer with a product-based company. Just like I was placed in my college first. They gave us a stipend.
Which company?
It was Subex Limited. It was a product-based company.
Okay. And what was your salary?
So over there, I got about 4.5 as a fresher.
I'm assuming there was a salary hike also.
Of course, I went from 8 to 9 to 12 to 13, I think, something like that. It happened in the promotion hike, somewhere like that. At that point of time, Morgan Stanley came into the picture. I interviewed with them. They gave me an offer of about, I think, somewhere in the range of 25 to 29 without bonus. So bonus component is never included.
Wow. So from 13, your salary hike was
25 to 29 something, yeah. And
Without
without
bonus.
bonus. Bonus will come afterwards, whatever they decide.
Tell me about your switch to VMware.
Oh, yes.
think,
So after Morgan Stanley, I think every year on year I got hikes. And I started after 4 years again, it was like a bit of slump. I needed a change, new stuff, new learnings you need to do. So they came back with a very good offer.
So when did you join VMware?
I joined 2 years ago, almost now.
So it's been 2 years. at
Yeah,
VMware.
2022, yes.
I was actually going to ask you all this, Uli. Like, does maternity leave affect your career growth? And clearly, it looks like
No, not for
it
me. at
hasn't.
least.
So
No.
because we get to hear this a lot, right? After marriage, and then I had kids, and then I did not go back to work, and then after 5 years, and that's why I've not been able to get. So that's what we keep hearing. But clearly, there is another.
But that happens if you take a
Side.
break, right? So if you take a break after, giving birth, industry is very cruel. Like there are, not cruel, I would say there's a lot of competition. So nobody's going to wait for you on a job, right? If you want away for 2-3 years and you want to come back to workforce, people have moved on. Technology has moved on. But still there are a lot of programs, with companies like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, which would have these programs, internship programs for 6 months for women who want to come back to workforce after a break.
Okay.
So you need a break of at least 2 years minimum to join that program.
So, after listening to your whole career journey, it's very evident that you're in a very senior level position right now. Now, when you're in a company and you reach a certain position, there is always this thing that comes up key. Your salary gets capped after a point, right? There's not more that a company can provide, like even in our company, right? I think recently I was watching this, it was a podcast. It was one of ex-Zomato team member who's in a very senior position, where I think when the company went public, he sold at least 30% of whatever he owned. But then he immediately bought it back. And he says that, I actually believe in Zomato so much that I wanted to like have a piece of it. And I think today we can see like how true it stands. So what do you think about this? Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to ESOPs? Do you look at it as like a long-term holding or go
So for
about?
me, with VMware, it's already public. So it's like I have the stocks. I know what price it's going on right now, how it is growing and everything. So it is like any other stocks, frankly. But it is a US-based company, so it is on the NYSE. It's not an Indian stock. I think I have sold some, I have kept some. It really depends, right? If you need money, if you want the cash inflow, it's a pause. I needed the money for my house. Like I bought a house recently, so I needed that money for that. So I sold a few shares. I do have still, and they keep vesting. Like there is a quarterly schedule, 6-month schedule, yearly schedule.
Now that you said that, I feel like not many people understand the real value of ESOPs. Like we discussed, it's paper money. So maybe the focus is always on the
Paper money until they have gone public.
Okay, just to add on to what Jyoti said, ESOPs are a bit different over here because in ESOPs, it's not actually real money coming in right now.
till the company goes public.
Yeah, till the company goes public. But there is always an option of buyback, which you get from the owners or the founders of the company. But yeah, it's not real stock or real units which are sitting in your demat right now compared to what she's mentioning, that she can actually open an app and see that what is the unit sitting in her demat.
What do you think? Like, how much money has somebody who you know has made because of the ESOPs?
They have, because they joined in the starting time, right? So they became like same experience as me, like same age as me, but they are the level of directors because they started.
How much do you think they have made?
And they have made crores.
What about you?
I don't know anyone personally who would have encashed their ESOPs or anything, but a distant relative of mine did make a great amount of money by selling their ESOPs, and they were able to buy a flat in Mumbai. So, yeah.
Now I'm going to move to a little personal topic over here, and that's what's more personal than finance, right? So personal finance. So I want to know now, how is it that you're managing your own finance?
So I'll just start with a little bit of back journey. In the beginning of my career, I was investing about 40% of my salary because there was no dependent on me. I was like living with my parents.
Sorry, 40% of your salary was?
It was 5.5 lakhs at that time when I had joined in my first job after becoming CA in 2012.
Okay.
Between the period 2017 to 2022, I invested only about 20% of my salary because I had a home loan running. So that is a time when I had to, percentage-wise, I had to reduce a bit. And from 2022, again, I'm investing about 40% of my salary. Again, it's very much goal-based and that is the way.
Currently, how does it look like?
So I don't do direct equity much, but through mutual funds, I have about 70% of my portfolio goes into equity. 20 to 25% maybe in debt through mutual funds again, and the remaining would be gold, not physical gold, SGB, or again through mutual funds.
Yeah, let's get to her. She's already laughed. She's very happy to answer this.
No, I'm embarrassed listening to her, and it has been so amazing. I wish someone could have taught me this earlier. I think when I started, I was just chilling, living in Bangalore. Money is coming, I'm just paying for things. I rest of the money is in my savings account.
Okay, I can also relate.
What to
Even
do,
when
nothing.
she was telling 2012 mutual
I am
funds,
like, dude,
I'm like, what?
I didn't even know about mutual funds in 2012.
I know.
I was like, I feel embarrassed now because I feel I would have been having a lot of money if I started investing back then. After I joined Morgan Stanley, so that is where my investing turnaround happened. I think Finance with Sharan also started there. So I started
You
going.
You're talking about the
during
year or the
that
company?
time. No.
Year.
The Finance with Sharan channel started.
2021.
2021,
Jan.
yeah, that's what, around that time that also started. And I started working with Morgan Stanley. So they used to have these webinars on equity, investment in equity, etc., etc. The MDs used to take these webinars. So they used to tell how wealth creation happens and, you know, how mutual funds work. And because before that, I had zero clue about this. No idea at all. So, and then we started the SIP thing. 2022 mid or end, we started 2.5 years ago. We started, and we even bought a house with whatever. As I said, I was not investing anything. I had like 40-50 lakhs sitting, 60 lakhs sitting in my savings account. So I'm like, let's buy a house. And my husband is like, because he was taking. So we have this dynamic in our marriage. He takes care of the expenses at home. And I keep the savings up. So whatever vacations we have to take and everything, I'll pay for that. Or any big expenses coming in the family, I'll do that. And he would take care of our regular expenses, you know, school fees or everyday fees, meals, everything he'll take care of it. So I think I made around 20% XIRR.
So right now, where have you invested? How have you diversified it?
So it is about 75 to 80% equity. Rest is in debt. Some is in physical gold. I did not do sovereign gold bonds. I bought physical gold when they were in the range of 40 to 50.
Any advice for today's women who might be watching this, looking to become financially independent, grow in their career, and have a personal, fulfilling life? So anything that you can
I think the
tell
first advice would be that don't think that we are women so we can't do this. First of all, just remove anything about being a woman or a man. The world is very, very equal now, and it's going to accept you in the way you will present yourself.
Agreed.
anything
I
from your
think
end?
it has been, I have been overcompensating because I've been always told in my life that you are a woman and you're not supposed to do this. I have always tried to prove them wrong and, you know, overcompensated for this. And I've been like, I'm a woman, I'm doing it. And, you know, I've always tried to overcompensate and I've tried to achieve more and more. And this is a common thing which I see with women that, you know, there's statistics related that women generally do not apply to jobs if they don't meet 100% of the criteria.
Yeah, but men apply.
Men
even
do
if
that,
they-
and if they do get it also.
Yeah.
And in the job openings, you know, generally a lot of companies would put this line also, even if you don't fulfill all the criteria, please do apply. So apply for jobs. Don't be thinking that, oh no, maybe no. It'll happen. Don't worry about it.
I loved this episode. I hope you guys did too. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next episode.